I'm going to bring in a little bit of some Palladian light language to help us calibrate our cells and our bodily structure for this. Nunanta chichitiru tata eke u atatarashna kati u tata Rusno to shtakiki kukurata ia kikiru tatashna kikike horata iwata ratashti urita iwa hisno arashniketa urata ise watashivata hisnet urasta kikikua kekeo atashnat urastata tushkukura ik urutata iseba kototo katata arasnototoshte as they surround us with their love and gratitude for meeting here today. Thank you. So now that we're allowing that, we're going to allow that to calibrate ourselves for just a minute here and start to feel like a bit of a vibration coming into your cells as they work on them and are cleaning the cells that don't need to be with us right at this moment. And they're moving a higher vibration into each cell. We're going to take 10 deep breaths as we move into this. And it'll be the breath in is 1, the breath out is 2, breath in is 3. So we'll just do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold it. And 10. Now that we've relaxed into this space, we're going to see a door. We're opening up a door, and that opens into a pathway into the wilderness. We're surrounded by trees, but there's a little clearing off to our right. We're going to step into that clearing. As we step into that clearing, you see a bright red dragon coming in to greet you. It comes in and you share each other's greetings of gratitude and love with each other, and know that there's a bit of something that is within you that's in this dragon. It motions for you to come forward and hop on its back as we're going to go for a ride on this dragon. As we get on, we feel the scales of the dragon. They're smooth, yet they feel liquid and warm. And where we're sitting is comfortable, and there's many places to hold on to. And the dragon slowly beats its wings to get enough momentum to take off from the ground. We go higher and higher into the air, and we're flying towards the lake to see the Lady of the Lake. We're going to the top of a mountain, though. We're going to the top of a snow-covered peak that was to the north, that was purple, and we're going to sit on We're going to land on top of this mountain. As we touch down, the dragon asks you to get down and be on top of this peak. And as you touch the peak, you feel a resonance with this mountain and all the minerals that are in there. And you get a deep sensation of the communication that the minerals want to have with us as it shows you its lifetime. Slowly, you go into the earth as it's melting and forming the layers of itself, flowing each layer of the minerals that are coming together as a collective, flowing and mingling with each other, layer upon layer, each one cooling and becoming solid and rock itself. And you feel the earth pushing you up, pushing you higher and higher until you actually are sticking up as high as you possibly can into the atmosphere, as if you were ascending and becoming the most ascended version of the mineral that we possibly can be. We feel that we have become a home for all beings who need to come to us, and they will be safe and protected upon our foundation. And we will provide space for plants to grow, for the snow to fall upon us, and the water to become and flow down us, creating more of us as we flow down the mountain. And now the dragon comes and he touches you on top of your head as you come back from this. And at that point where he touches you on your head, you feel the sensation of rising off of the mountain, going into the atmosphere of Earth itself. It's bringing you higher and higher. And you look down upon the mountain as it disappears, smaller and smaller and smaller until you're way above the earth in the atmosphere of the earth itself. You keep going. You see the sun. You go towards the sun and you feel the warmth of the sun and the actions of the sun. And you notice that you are enveloping everything in the solar system itself. And you become the heliosphere, which surrounds our solar system and all the planets. You feel this as you expand even further. You notice that you see all the suns in our galaxy spiraling next to you, and you become bigger and bigger and expand more and more until you're actually surrounding this galaxy. All of it is you. You see every sun as part of you, even to the center of the sun, the galactic center, that is part of you. You breathe this in and you expand even more, and you see multiple galaxies around you expanding, expanding even bigger until you see just a grouping of galaxies forming, just a spark of fire. And the dragon touches you on your head again, and you come back and you realize that fire is inside of you. And now the dragon asks you to get on its back as you're going to fly down to the lake again on its back. As you get on, you feel the entire universe is coming with you every moment, every second that you are doing anything. It's in you, but it is also outside of you. And as you get on the back of the dragon, it looks back at you and smiles and just flows down the mountain in one big swoop. as it glides with the contours of the mountain itself. You see a small clearing at the north side of the lake. And as you come into this clearing, the dragon gently sets itself down in a big whoosh. And there you are. And allows you to get down gently from its back onto the ground. And it steps to the side and blows a big flame out into the middle of the lake. And then the Lady of the Lake rises from the center of this. She's a sparkling flame this time because she comes up and out of the lake, and she is giant. And that she becomes small again. And then she instantly becomes nothing and then transforms right in front of you as a flame again in front of you. You feel her warmth as she greets you with love and gratitude for this meeting. And she motions to your side where your wands are in a pouch that she was wearing, but now you are wearing. You pull out uh, one of the wands that she motions that you can pull out any wand that you choose out of your pouch now. And as you do, she touches the tip of your wand and a fire ignites from that. And now you can move your wand with the tip of it and the fire dancing around it, and you feel that fire that's in your heart space connecting to that fire. It is one with you and your heart space. You can make it bigger, extend, and move around and flow. You can turn it into designs that come and move around you. And you can see how you are connected to the flame itself, as all creation is. each each creation has a little bit of a flame in it, and you can see that that is the connection to all. As you move it around and it dances and you play with it, it follows you, and you take it and you can see how you can change this flame into any color you want, and each color of the flames has certain abilities to it. You may not know what all of them are today, but maybe you take one of those with you and use it and play with it and put it in your heart space to help you transmute and transform the world around you with your fire in action. As fire creates, it also transmutes and changes. It's a big change maker. It moves and flows. And you notice that you can take the flame and you can put it on the ground, and as it's burning, you can stop time and see that flame is just one frame, and it stays there until you move it, and you can see each individual frame of the time itself. As you experience that flame, it can become a multitude of different shapes, and it flows and it moves around. But you can take each individual frame that you see and actuate that frame. You can make it go faster or slower as the frames per second that you are seeing, but you see that there is a geometry to the shape and that there's a center point of that flame. As you move it around and make that flame move and experience as you, the Lady of the Lake brings you back and says, that you can use this flame to help you in your life and transmute things from a liquid to vapor. Watch the flames around you and see how they affect the world that is around you. And she says she's going to part now and thanks you for this time as we were able to spend together and see what we can do to create with the flame. There's more to this, but you need to play with this flame within inside of you and outside of you at the same time and see how everything else is connected to this flame. Now, as she parts, she instantly transports to the middle of the lake, and you say goodbye to her, and you send a flame to her with your wand. As part of your heart, you give to her for the gratitude that you have for her showing you how to manipulate and play with this magical thing that she has given us. And she goes and she fades into the water, and the steam rises up, and the water and the minerals and everything show gratitude to you for being in this co-creation with them. And the dragon comes back and blows another flame across the lake as just pure joy and excitement and love for the flames that we are, and ask you to get back on its back and go for another ride back to the clearing that we originally started from. You take your time and you ride and notice the wind flowing past you, and you feel the connection to everything and all that is around you. We flow back to the open clearing, and the dragon sets down, and you part ways with the dragon with a hug and a bit of gratitude and love for this co-creation that they brought you to. As we come back, we go through our doorway back into our bodies, and we feel our bodies again here in the physical. Feel ourselves touching the chairs or the ground that you're sitting on. Feel the fire of the electricity that's flowing around you as you can use that to create. And that's what we're doing when we're manipulating our world around us. We're using these electrical items to help us manipulate what we want. As we come back into ourselves, we just move a little bit and feel ourselves as our beingness. Take a few deep breaths and come back into your center and 0 point. If you have any water, I think probably drinking some would probably be helpful after that for sure. There's a lot to integrate for sure. I was getting a lot of words, a lot of pictures that like are hard to describe because they're the flame itself. Like I was trying to broadcast that. I hope you guys got some of that because like there's just no words for it, and I was like getting lost in my words for sure. I was like, anybody have any experiences they'd like to share or like to bring us back into the reality of sharing with our co-creation here?
I was definitely feeling those sun codes as you were like guiding us to the sun and then imagining all of the different like stars coming together like galactically. So I appreciated zooming out at that level because it's something I do on my own often. And so being able to do that in a group was a nice reflection. And so thank you for that. The weaving was incredible. The imagery of the dragon as I stepped on it and just feeling into that was pretty awesome. And with kind of connecting with the mineral kingdom, I felt drawn to change my background to these mountains. I kind of I saw the Lady of the Lake kind of come out of the clouds, and so it was almost like, weaving with the rose codes from earlier. It's almost like I see her kind of walking, I don't know, through her multidimensionality, maybe is a good way to summarize that. I kept hearing cloud grids and like going through the layers of the atmosphere, and just kind of as we anchor into all of those different anchor our codes into those different layers and levels, and just kind of traversing that was a very fun experience. So thank you for leading us through that. That was awesome and complete.
Yeah. Thank you for that reflection for sure. Like, yeah, I'm just going with like what they're guiding me to like bring in. So I'm hoping I'm trying to get as more a little bit more visual like with my descriptive words for sure to like help us all get like it's more of a calibration for us to get on the same wavelength basically to tone us together in a way, and like that's kind of what they're teaching me how to do. Like I have Yeshua come in every once in a while, and he's teaching me how to use the power of parable. And that's like one of the things that like I think once we get into like being in groups that are like gathering together physically, we'll be able to like use the power of the parable to like express into it, because he was showing me how like he would telepathically connect to people while he was telling these stories, and he could individually help people like as like a representative and tell like an individual parable to them instead of just the whole group. He was telling that whole group as a collective, but as an individual to make it more personable, because that's what it really is. Each one of us are like, even me just speaking to you is you are having me speak to you, like as like the picture of what you want to see and feel and experience. It may not be exactly what you're imagining sometimes, but that's the point of it all, is that we have an individual imagination of ourselves also. Anybody else want to share any reflections?
I'll share.
Yay.
Thank you for that. That was really it was beautiful in a variety of ways for me. I live in the mountains, and the mountains are not my natural habitat. I'm a beach and water girl. Um, and The journey that you took us on through the minerals in their more fluid state and as they were melting, solidifying, I really was able to connect to the energy of the minerals the and the mountains in that state, and realizing that these mountains that I'm sitting on were once that. And it made me remember a time in Zion where I could actually see the very slow movement of these massive cathedral mountains that were alive, but it was just in super slow motion. And it helped me connect a little bit better to the mountains here in the Rockies where I am. And also the feeling of the dragons and that the wind in your hair. I grew up horseback riding and had a pretty major head injury and accident and haven't really been able to ride very much since. But it was always such a joy to me to be able to just gallop down the beach with the wind in my hair and that excitement that I would feel. And you really kind of brought that back to me with that, the image of being on the dragon and riding. So it's almost like this longing that I feel of flying, that ever since I was a kid I've had dreams of flying. And this sort of, I used to tell my mom, but I know I can fly, like I know, I remember being able to fly. Like, what is this dense form? And it brought back that memory of like of being able to be less dense and fly with you all. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, I think it's great to be able to experience that movement through. And what I've been drawn to sometimes is like when we move around on this earth, we're actually not moving, we're central. Everything is coming towards us. If you can like even sit in a car and realize you're just magnetizing forward, it's a trippy experience actually. But having the feeling of the movement and everything that wind moving past you, like, and everything coming at you, giving you that sensation of movement itself is like, I think it's pretty paramount to being a human, is like experiencing that wind in your hair. And I love riding horses too. I grew up in Colorado riding horses and things like that. And I worked at a community center where I was a wrangler once. So I guided kids on journeys to go like through the woods and stuff. It was pretty fun to like see the excitement of people like enjoying something that I took for granted almost. So it was fun. Anybody else want to share a reflection?
I'll go next, I guess. um, Tying into the last two comments about like flowing, that's kind of what I got with the fire. Is like it's easy to see when you look at fire that it's so free and flowing and it constantly changes shape, but there is that center point that you described. So it helps us like remember that we're constantly becoming as well. So like we're constantly like regenerating ourselves and we're just like flowing through. So that ties into how you said it, you're magnetizing forward, like you're constantly becoming. Yeah, it's moving forward. So yeah. So that's the sense I got from the fire, that nice little reminder. And when it came to the zooming out, I was thinking about how it's like the macrocosm. So like how when you look at in an atom, like the distance between like the nucleus and the electrons and the protons around it is like the sun and the planets around it. So like zooming out from that grander perspective, you can see how like the stars are the atoms of the grander selves of our, who we are in the grander forms, the like the archangels, the grander, the original big bodies of the universe, that, and we're just their little cells inside. So those are the two little tidbits I had to share. So thanks for leading us through that, Michael and Vincent.
Yeah, I don't know why it does it custom molding every once in a while and Vincent the other times. Like it's my computer. But thank you for that reflection.
Yeah, and I know I mistakenly said Michael, even though, but I'm thinking Archangel Michael is leading me through that. So
Oh,
that's
nice.
a slip up. I don't know why, but that's right.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, I'm pretty connected to Archangel Michael too, I think. Like he yeah, I feel his presence. I think he guided me quite a bit, like when I was having rough times, as like taking on human trauma and transmuting it, like but yeah, that was one of the things I was trying to get across, I guess, was like how fire it expands and it contracts. It's moving so multidimensionally, but also it is a vortex. Like that's one thing that it cycles around itself in, and all the shapes that it creates in the vortex are just the fluid movements of it. Like it's it's pretty crazy. I wish I could describe more, and I know I hope I'm just giving that feeling of it as like maybe you're looking at a fire, like maybe when we gather or something at the Four Corners, or we'll experience that. I think is like I kind of got a little feeling of us being around a fire at some point and expanding into the fire itself altogether. Like I think that'll be cool. So anybody else want to weave some saying?
Um, you made a, this was a beautiful journey. And I did a practicum session like yesterday. So I'm like integrating something very similar to what you like almost every mention in the journey had like an element of my session yesterday. So like that's why I'm just grooving. Like I was just grooving because it was very synchronous. And like my integration instructions were to fly, to like feel that feeling because it was like a seraphim like big winged thing. And I'm like, okay, that it was. I'm still integrating, still processing it, but that was my homework, was just to was to remember how to fly. So you crushed it, and it was very beautiful. And like like everything you said was just like instantly visual. Like I was like right there. So it was a beautiful journey. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share that because I don't really have a lot of words other, like I'm just sending vibes, but I had to confirm, like you pretty much just took me back to my session yesterday. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Rachel. Like it was funny also that you had in the comments in the like our Nexus group was like strawberry fields. Like I loved that you picked up on that. I was like, I know somebody, I felt like somebody picked up on that, and then you put it in the chat. I was like, yes, telepathy, we're freaking coming together. Yay. It's so exciting to me because like I like having conversations with Rachel on like our Telegram. Like we talked a couple times, and like I was like, wow, there's only been one person that I was able to like talk to who we would speak over each other, but we knew we were like also telepathically connecting together, but we were using the words to help visualize between each other. And like when I was like, I could probably do that with you. And I was like, oh, it's a weird sensation when you get into the flow of that. Like, but it feels so good. So I appreciate your being in the group today. Thank you.
I felt the call, but I've been telepathic since I was a kid, actually. So, and my best friend lived like 5 houses down from me. So we were like 6 months, one day apart. Went did everything together. Like she's alive and all. It's just like we don't live near each other for once in our lives. But we were telepathic our whole childhoods, and I didn't know that other people weren't telepathic. I actually thought it was normal until I learned that it's not. So I've been like carrying that frequency for like my whole life. So I'm actually excited that people are more telepathic because it just like kind of it helps. It helps a lot. So I love that you love it too.
Yeah, I didn't realize people like weren't telepathic either from like, but I got traumatized by my parents and stuff like, so it kind of shut me off from being wanting to be telepathic. But I kept the connection with animals and the plants and stuff, and like that's and I kept that frequency, but and I kept building it every time I'd go someplace. I'd be like, I'm mentally putting telepathic codes into this auditorium with everybody around me. Here we go. Hey guides, why don't you help me with it? And they did. So like now we're here. That's great.
I have a comment about telepathy. So I've had like at least 5 experiences in the last few days where I'm like kind of telepathically asking someone else, it's random strangers right now, but I'm like telepathically asking them to like go what places and do things and move. Like, example, there was a helicopter flying in circles. And there's this app called Flight Tracker, and you can open it up and see what planes and stuff are around you. Like he kept circling around, and I'm like, what is this helicopter do? It's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm trying to go to sleep, and he's circling around. There was probably 100 circles. I'm like, aren't you dizzy? What are you doing? And so I started to get a little bit bugged, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna practice this. We're gonna see what happens. And within like 10 minutes, he was gone. And like today, another example, like we were at the spa, and there was just some people that I was like, okay, your energy needs to go here. And I'm just like, I'm gritting and I'm doing stuff, and like they do what like I'm thinking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is cool. Like, what else can we do with this? So I've been practicing and kind of playing in that, and that's been super duper fun to like see results in the field.
Yes. That's so awesome. It's fun to be like in that co-creation space. And when you're in your 0 point and you're true, it allows them to like take it from you, especially like there's so many thoughts in the collective consciousness that's total garbage. It's like if you got a good thought and you can put it into somebody else, like that just makes my heart sing for sure, right? Yeah.
Um, okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm gonna talk to hers because I'm worried. So just yeah, we're telepathy, so okay, Crystal, let me talk. So essentially what came through for me is I got 3 different versions, 3 different frequencies of fire that came through for me. There was dragon breath or dragon fire, which came from the dragons, the fire from the Lady of the Lake that was we were channeling through our wands. And then I channel my own version, my own frequency of holy fire. So I'm working with the 3 versions in this. So it's very visual, like right, very visual. And then main thing that I was playing with, it's like more inner child, was the wand. So my wand last time is mostly like silver, metallic, kind of like black where it isn't silver. And then as you were talking about like changing, to me it's frequency, so it's colors. I'm basically waving my wand, and in the Harry Potter movie, there's one scene specifically where they're just kind of going back and forth, exchanging what would be blows with the wand, and I'm doing a version of that, but it's each time that I'm whipping the wand, it's whipping a different frequency of a color, and I was just kind of like blown away by that. So I was just standing there, essentially doing that for what seemed like an eternity, just watching the colors like shift and get longer and get hotter and get colder, and then trying to essentially like manipulate that version of the holy fire. And then I'll drop a nugget for you guys because I work with holy fire in many different ways if you're interested. A couple different ways that I've used it personally. Some people are really into protections, and a lot of times when I'm opening space for myself personally, I'll take holy fire and I'll draw a circle close to my body in a clockwise direction. So I'll draw a circle close clockwise, and then I'll reverse a circle and I'll go outside of that circle counterclockwise. So it's essentially a double circle of protection. And then I'll cast it into the 4 corners of the room that I'm standing in. So I'll cast a pillar into each of the 4 corners and kind of connect those to the 2 circles. And then the updated version that I finally got from my higher self more recently was you can build, so you got two circles, four pillars in the corners of fire, and then you can build essentially a frequency dome off the top of that. And that kind of encases you in, I guess, four different pillars. And you can use that for whatever feels resonant. I use it for a couple different things personally, so I'll just kind of drop that on it. That's helpful. Yeah, that was a very visual, very deeply visual, resonated a lot. And, super cool. Specific guided app.
I figured you were going to be the one who would be able to like be with the fire a little bit more. I was like, I felt like you were there like with me and like playing with the fire too. So I was like, I feel like each of us carries a little bit of like part of like we have a strong thing that we've done in our life, like previous lives where we've helped to bring that like element into reality through magic. And I feel like Glenn definitely has spent a lot of time bringing fire magic into the world. So I feel like I was a little bit like I think Glenn probably knows a little bit more about how to manipulate the fire without like, like I felt like a little kid playing with it a little bit, but because I like to draw with it, I like to leave sparks and like make shapes with it. And when I used my wand in a previous lifetime, I would see that I could draw that fire with shapes and symbols into people's heart space, and they would be healing for them or give them an energy or do something for them to help them be what they need to be or whatever. Like because they would take the fire in themselves to heal themselves, basically. So that's kind of what I was seeing with that a little bit. And thank you for your reflection on that. That's awesome. I love how you use fire, and I hope you can bring more of that into the group itself for sure.
I was just going to mention really quick that I felt like I was kind of new to the fire, but I felt like it was feeling familiar to what I kind of discovered as my lightsabers earlier last year that were almost like these swords of light that emanated from in between the middle fingers, coming from the heart out the hands, and like like Star Wars lightsabers. So I play with my swords a lot, and I have these two swords coming out, and it's more just beams of light rather than fire. So I was thinking of, I was almost kind of integrating like, maybe it's almost like the internal fire and coming up, radiating out the hands as my swords like that. But um, this, on a different note, my my amethyst wanted to join today. So this is I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of a sword wand that wanted to play today. So it's kind of like the image that I use when I've got these lightsabers coming out from my hands.
She's gorgeous. Thank you for bringing her in.
Yeah, for sure. No, if you can see her better, but yeah, fun times. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, I don't think, Vincent, I don't think you were on the call the other day when I mentioned I have not been super telepathic. I am a little bit more clairaudient, like I hear more. And part of this healing journey that I'm on from this head injury, there's a lot of blockages in my third eye and in my brain. So there's a lot that I'm kind of working on there and really trying to develop my inner vision. But um, when telepathy came up last week or earlier, was like, oh, I really want to practice this. So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to send, try and send messages to everybody in the group. And my higher self was like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to send scents to people because I, I'm a scent person. I've got probably, at least 50 to 100 essential oils and blend and use them. And so that was kind of what came to me. So I was like, okay, I'll play with that. So I was kind of playing with creating scent blends that I was sending to people. So if you get a whiff of like cedar or, something throughout the day, that's maybe me trying to play with my tools in that way.
Yeah, I think I smelled some stuff that isn't normally random, like that was random in my shop that I was like, I bet you that's Tatiana for sure. And yeah, I'm fairly open to that, but like, yeah, telepathy isn't one thing, and a lot of us have a specialty in our telepathy that we hold on to in ourselves, like probably from our original star race that we learned telepathy from. And some of us are water beings, and the telepathy comes through vibrations through in water, which creates frequencies and pictures. So you may sometimes, if you're feeling stuck with to do that, I feel like you may have some serious star being in you for sure. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely need to be in water as much as possible.
Yeah, one of the other things, like with the fire, that like I think why they had us go out into the galaxy to see all of the stars was that we have access to all those stars within us, and each one of them has a different flavor to what they can produce and do. And each galaxy and each star in each galaxy has unique flavors of what they can do and the flames that they produce, from cold flames to hot flames to like um yeah, there's just so much to it. I couldn't even really comprehend all of it for sure. So yeah, that's kind of what I got for today. I don't know if anybody else want to reflect or figure out like a way to come to a close here, I guess, if we want to, or
You have a bird that is sending some codes.
yeah, the birds, every time I get on the computer, they come and sit in the tree that I have in front of my office, and they love it. Like when we were having did the rose lineage things, I had 5 blue jays come and sit in a tree outside just before the meeting, like as part of the blue rose frequency that I was. I was
Yes,
like,
I've got a lot of blue avian, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, the blue jays and the blue avians are super resonant.
yeah, man. I had what it was weird. They let like there was a group of 5 of them, but one of them stayed there and it kept on like bantering for almost half the day. Like it was like it got lost and they left it there. Like the 2 mom and dad groups probably left a younger one there to like experience the world because it wasn't paying attention or something. I don't know. I heard Blue Jays are kind of brutal like that in a way. They're like, it's time to go. We'll see you. So I don't know. It was kind of weird because he kept on cawing like he was calling for somebody. I felt bad for him, but I was like, you'll go find I kept on telling him like you'll go find somebody that's part of you. Your new group is waiting for you for sure. And then it finally left, you know. I feel like I'm gonna do a little bit of light language and then we'll see if we want to close out somehow. And I think that Dragon wants to come in and speak a little bit. Kichitu turu te kikina to chachako. Arrajijika euto. Kikikushtaka erakakakund. Kikuraja euto. Hichichuak. Hichichu okaka. Ekeak. Hachichichu kukwa. Ayat urutu chingake auto. Kiko to chew. Harisnik go. Ha! The Totorshnakak. No to actitia. I'm complete with that.
You hear me? Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, all right, perfect. Yeah, I just want to say how grateful we are for this container, for all of our friends, all of our soul family. As we prepare to bring this container to a close, this portal to a close, remembering our intentions that we set earlier. Remembering that frequency of the dragons, the earth minerals, the Lady of the Lake, sending deep gratitude to Vincent for leading us through this guided activation as we continue the series. Just so grateful for your frequency, brother, for your channel, for your clarity, for your codes. I mean, there's so many words that I could just go on and on and on. Just super grateful for you. I'm super grateful for everybody in this container who are present here, those who will be watching the replay, those who are joining us in the astral, and those brothers and sisters who I can definitely see are in the field, and they will be coming to join us in community here very soon. Just holding that space for them, remembering them, letting them know, calling them in the most aligned way that is resonant with their field as we continue to weave our frequencies together in these containers and other containers. Just so grateful for this community as we continue to lift this veil of forgetting and step into that remembrance of that divine alignment into our true frequency. Sending deep gratitude to the Lady of the Lake, Vivian, everyone that assisted, all of our guides, deep gratitude, our higher selves, the angelic frequencies, the four directions, the elements, the five elements, anyone else that assisted in this as well, calling our energy back to us, cleansed and cleared any excess energy that was used for this container, calling that energy back, cleansed and cleared, sending it into the void, into the quantum, into the 0 point to be alchemized and transmuted. Deep gratitude to Amagaya as we continue to activate and send her codes. Just wanting to take a moment here to remember our intentions. Updating the Kosh. feeling this container closing out. So it is, and so it is, and so it is. Feel free to unmute and share any words.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Glenn. You really just hold a beautiful container.
Yes, thank you for this container, and each and every one of you. I hold gratitude and love in my heart for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of our new world that we're creating now. Thank you.
Love you guys. Have a good weekend.
You too. Love you all. And so it is.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right, have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.